morning, boys and girls. I'm here for another story today. Today we're learning all about doctors and nurses. So our story today has to do with somebody who's sick. Our story is called The Day Snuffy Had the Sniffles. Let's review our parts of the book. Are you ready? What is this? You guys are so smart. The front cover. What is this? Perfect. The spine of the book. These are the, you got it. The pages of the book. And this is the, I can't even trick you, the back cover. Good job. What is this part of the book called? Do you remember? Awesome. The title. That's the name of the story. Now let me move my camera just a little so that you can see better. The Day Snuffy Had the Sniffles. And what is this page called? You guys are amazing. It's the title page. Very good. Oscar the Grouch popped out of his can just in time to see Big Bird skipping down Sesame Street. Go away, Bird, Oscar grumbled. And that cheerfulness will ruin my day. Besides, it's time to collect the trash. I'm too busy to talk to you. That's okay, Oscar, said Big Bird. I'm in a hurry to get to Snuffy's house so I can cheer him up. He has the sniffles. So is Oscar the Grouch being kind? No. That's not nice to tell somebody to go away. Grouches don't know anything about cheering anybody up, says Oscar. But we do know a lot about sniffles. I have just one thing for you to make old Snufflenose. So wait here. Before Big Bird could say anything, Oscar disappeared into his can, banging the lid shut behind him. Big Bird was waiting impatiently for Oscar when Cookie Monster came along. What do you think's going to happen next? Maybe. Let's keep reading and see. That's a good guess. What's the matter, Cookie? asked Big Bird. Somebody eat all your cookies? Worse than that, Big Bird said. Snuffy got the sniffles and can't come out to play. I'm waiting for Oscar. He has a surprise for me to take to Snuffy. Cheer up! Surprise! said Cookie Monster. Wait here. He left in such a rush he nearly ran into Bert. As soon as Bert heard that Snuffy had the sniffles, he told Big Bird, I know just something to cheer up the old Snuffleupagus. Wait here. He dashed into 123 Sesame Street before Big Bird could open his beak to say one word. Big Bird plopped down on the steps next to Oscar's can. At this rate, I'll never get to Snuffy, he said. He tapped his foot. He stood up. He paced back and forth. He sat down. Then he did the same thing all over again. See, they're all trying to be kind because they all want to help Big Bird to make Snuffy feel better. Just then Big Bird decided he couldn't wait 1 second longer. Bert ran down the steps and handed him a large shoebox. Big Bird peeked inside. It's my bottle cap collection, Bert said proudly. You can lend it to Snuffy. It will give him something fascinating to look at while he's sick in bed. There's nothing more exciting than bottle caps, except maybe paper clips. Before Big Bird could answer, Cookie Monster came back, huffing and puffing. He held out a slightly dented cookie tin. Gee, thanks, Cookie, said Big Bird. He tugged at the lid. I just know Snuffy will enjoy these. Cookie crumbs? Cookie Monster shrugged. Well, he said, it's the thought that counts. He brushed chocolate chip cookie crumbs off of his tummy. Sure cheered me up, he said. See, so they're trying to be so kind to Snuffy. Just then Oscar popped back up. Here, Bird, he said, the perfect thing for old Snuffy. He placed a jar of something lumpy and green on top of the shoebox and cookie tin. It's an old Grouch family recipe, handed down from Grand Grouch to Mom Grouch. It's sure to cure even the snuffleupagus-sized sniffles. Sardine and sauerkraut soup, Oscar said. Bert and Cookie Monster held their noses black. They said. You'd better get a move on, Bird, said Oscar. Can't let the soup get too warm. Sardine and sauerkraut soup only tastes its worst when it's good and cold. Ew. Do you think that tastes good? Sauerkraut and sardine soup? I don't know. Juggling the shoebox, the cookie tin, and the smelly grouch soup, Big Bird started off again. He was on his way to Snuffy at last. He got as far as the library when he met Betty Lou. As soon as she heard where Big Bird was going, Betty Lou said, I know just the thing to cheer up old Snuffy. Come on. Before Big Bird could make a peep, Betty Lou took him up the steps into the library. Everybody's sure in a hurry to make me wait, said Big Bird, looking around. Finally, Betty Lou came back. She balanced a thick book on top of Big Bird's bundle. Here's an animal picture book for Snuffy to look at all by himself. And here's a monster storybook for his mother to read to him. She piled even a thicker book on top of the first one. There's nothing like a good book to cheer you up, said Betty Lou. Big Bird's arms were so full he couldn't wave goodbye to Betty Lou. It's a good thing Snuffy's cave isn't far, he said. What do you have here, Big Bird? The Count called from his castle window. One shoebox, one tin, one jar, two books. Wonderful! Big Bird told the Count why he was in a hurry. I have just the thing for your friend, the Count said. Wait there! After what seemed like hours to Big Bird, the Count came from his castle and handed him a box of tissues. Snuffy can count them and count them as much as he pleases, and they come in handy whenever he sneezes, the Count said. Crinkled, wrinkled tissues stuck out of the box. I counted them myself. There's 200 tissues, the Count said. Big Bird tiptoed quietly past Glady's barn. My, you have your hands full, said Glady the cow. There's a surprise for Snuffy, Big Bird explained. He has the sniffles. I'm trying to get there all morning to help him cheer up. Well, any cow knows the only way to do that, Glady says. Wait here. Not again, Big Bird said. but Gladys had already trotted into her barn. Gladys' cheer-up present turned out to be a pint of ice cream. It was getting soft and soggy in the noontime sun. Nothing puts you in a good mood like ice cream, Gladys said. Her bell tingled as she tried to balance the squishy ice cream curtain on top of the wrinkled tissues, on top of the box, on top of the jar, on top of the empty cookie tin, on top of the shoebox. Big Bird watched as the sticky pink drops fell onto his toes. It's strawberry, she explained. See, everybody wants to help Big Bird. At last Big Bird made it to Snuffy's cave without dropping a single present. He pushed open the front door with his foot. Then he had a terrible thought. I brought all these presents for Snuffy, not a single one for me. I forgot to bring Snuffy a present. Big Bird sighed a deep sigh and shifted the slippery pile of presents. I hope Snuffy won't be too disappointed, he said. Oh no. And there was Snuffy propped on a huge stuffed pillow in his snuffleupagus-sized home. On a tray in front of him was a glass of orange juice, a box of cough drops, a coloring book, and a box of crayons. Snuffy had an ice pack on his head and had a thermometer sticking out of his mouth. Mrs. Snuffleupagus took the thermometer out of Snuffy's mouth and studied it for a moment. Nope, no more fever, she said. She took the bottle and measured a thick orange medicine onto a spoon. Snuffy swallowed it all. Miss Snuffleupagus gave him a big hug. Cheer up, son, she told him. You'll be out of bed in no time. Oh, look at how sad Snuffy looks. Uh-oh, Big Bird said. The cheer-up surprise were slipping from his grasp. Ha, ha, achoo! Snuffy sneezed a gigantic sneeze that rattled the room. The presents crashed to the floor. Oh dear, said Miss Snuffleupagus. Big Bird stood in the doorway, feeling sadder than ever. How could he cheer up Snuffy now? Snuffy blew his sniffle into a handkerchief the size of a tablecloth. Then he smiled at Big Bird. Oh, Big Bird, he snuffed. How did you guess what I needed to cheer me up? Big Bird stared at the mess on the floor. What's that, Snuffy? He asked. The bottle caps? The cookie crumbs? The melted ice cream? Or the sardine and sauerkraut soup? No, Bird, said Snuffy. A visit from you. You cheered me up, Big Bird. You. Oh, so all he needed was to see his friend. Oh, look, they're playing checkers. The end. Bye, guys. I hope you have fun learning today about doctors and nurses. See you later.